Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 5. There's Bebop of the Yarnivore Podcast. I am Sadie, your host, also known as Blue Ruin on Ravelry and Sadie Ruin on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't plurk anymore. I'm sorry. I stopped plurking pretty much as soon as I moved, and that's the end of that. My hair is still wet. I apologize for that as well. So it goes. It's a Thursday. It's a busy Thursday. There's stuff to be done. I'm watching myself, and I seem slow. Maybe it's just that I'm slow. I don't know. Anywho, do I feel like playing with that? I don't know. Not today. Not today. I guess we'll just jump right on into things. It has been a long week since I last saw you. My in-laws were here from Friday to Tuesday, which was awesome. We had lots of fun touristy stuff that we did. We went into Seattle for for a day. I like Seattle. I wish I lived in Seattle. Not gonna lie to you, I'm a city girl. Being out here in the boonies is kind of weird. We'll just say it's weird. I shouldn't live in suburbs, and I should not live in small places. I am a city person. But it's really pretty out here. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Either way, with military life, we'll be gone in 2 years anyway. So, we had a lot of fun. They gave us a car. I know, right? A car. So now we have 2 cars, and I no longer have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to take my husband to work if I need the car, because now I have a car, and I can do things whenever I want. It's kind of nice. No more planning. No more planning. No more planning of everything I do. I still plan things, but I don't have to be like, I have to get up and take him to work, and then I have to do this, and then I have to go there, and then I have to go, I don't have to horribly micromanage a day to get done what needs to be done. And that also means I don't have to plan my appointments around his work schedule. Awesome. I'll take it. So, there has been some knitting. I'm on water again. I actually just finished a cup of coffee, which was yummy and delicious, as coffee often is. Works in progress. Let's just jump into the works in progress, because I have progress to report. And apparently throw around on the side here. I do really rather miss having my secondary chair in here. Yes, this room is messy, as you can see. But it needs to be in the living room, or in the kitchen for when we game. It doesn't need to be, but it does need to be. Well, either way, it's in the kitchen for when we play games, because we're a board game family. And we have 3 kitchen chairs, but they're hardwood chairs. And which is fine if you're playing like Sushi Go or something that's over really fast, or Gloom. But when you're playing Star Wars Armada, which is relatively a long game that involves tactics and stuff, it's a 90-minute minimum to play Star Wars Armada, which is fine. But if you're doing that, you need a comfier chair. Let me just say, my butt needs a comfier chair. So, I just have to deal with things, man. I have to deal with the fact that I don't have a spare thing here. Although once the bed is put away and everything, I can probably just set up a TV tray here and we'll be all good. I was showing you my works in progress. So in my 2nd Avenue swag bag, which I love, I have part of my brioche along. As we all know, we're doing the brioche along, and I'm sorry. I haven't had time to do videos, and my husband hasn't had time to help me do videos. So videos have not happened. But we still have a month. It's still not hard. So this is for my nephew, my little roadie. I am doing just 1x1 brioche rib. Ta-da! There's the inside. I love how you have like a reversible thing. I love that it gives you two different views. Did I show you my finished hat? I showed you my finished hat last week. Okay. Because I finished the vintage prim when I started this one. This one, and then I'm going to do my third niece's vintage prim, and that will be all the hats for little ones. So I'm just using leftover sock scraps, sock yarn scraps, because I can, and I don't know what this one is. It was given to me while I was doing the hubby quilts, and I believe this one is like Three Little Crows. It's a stripey one. I do like how the stripey, it makes it look like I'm doing a lot more work than I actually am. I'm magic looping on 3.75 millimeter needles, I believe. It's either 3.5 or 3.75. I think this is 3.75 because my 3.5s got broken and they just got replaced. My husband, anyone who has a military spouse will know this, but they wear those big boots. Those huge, massive boots. Well, they're not huge, massive boots, but they're like big, okay? They're the kind of boots I wore when I was a teenager, and I wore stompy boots. I kind of miss wearing stompy boots, but at the same time, I don't. Maybe I'll go back to stompy boots, who knows? But either way, they are some serious boots, and they've got steel toes, and they're big. And they've got these, like, serious not heels, but they've got serious tread portions on the bottom. So he doesn't really notice when he does anything in those. Like I've seriously had black and blue feet because he's accidentally stepped on my foot, or he's kicked me, like he's stubbed my toes more than I can count. Like not on purpose, but just in movement. So we, like me and the cats, were always trying to stay a decent amount away from his feet when he's wearing his boots. But I had a pair of 3.5 millimeter needles on the floor, or they had fallen off of our mantle and they were on the floor, and it was the morning and neither of us are morning people, so he had stepped on them and they were bent like this. Like the one circular needle had like, okay, so this part, it was bent right here and the tip went boop, so there was no saving them or using them. So he has replaced those, but I know that these aren't 3.5s. Because I was very sad that my 3.5s had died. Either way, I got a new pair of 3.5s this weekend. But, so 1x1 ribbing, very simple. I'm just winging it here. I love the fact that the stripey yarn makes it look like I have put stripes in there, and I haven't. I'm literally doing two colors. I'm going to go between 6 or 8 inches before I do the crown, just to make sure I have enough there. If it's too long, he can roll it over, right? Right? Like that's a beanie style, or a toque style, if you will. And I know, okay, Canadian chiming in here, because I have heard many Americans butcher toque. Okay, T-O-Q-U-E, toque. It's a toque. We wear toques in Canada. It's not a toque. It's not a toque. It's a toque. We wear toques. And I'm trying to learn to say beanie more often because I'm like, oh, grab the toque. Wear your toque. Toque, toque, toque. Because that is who I am, okay? That is who I am. It's a toque. So if you are American and you were always wondering the proper pronunciation, it's toque. Canadian toque. Grab your toque. So, this has a lot of stretch. Whee! The bottom doesn't, because I did the twisted cast on. It does have a fair bit of stretch, but not as much stretch as the brioche. Brioche gives you like some serious stretchability, like woo, woo. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm enjoying this one. Like I said, this is number 3 of 4. I could just use it as like a there you go, it's a cowl. 3 of 4. Hopefully it'll be done next week. I don't know. I'm bouncing around a lot. I am having knitting bouncing malaise. Bouncing malaise, that's a new thing. I want to start all the things, but at the same time, I'm like, don't start all the things. You have things to finish. And when I'm not starting all the things, it's like, I better knit on these things so they get done. And then I realize I enjoy knitting on them. But then I'm like, oh, I should switch. Because apparently I have knitter's ADD right now. Because I cannot focus on one pattern for more than like a night. So Rhodey's hat is being worked upon. I am loving the pictures that we're getting in the finished objects. I am loving the discussion going on. So feel free to jump in there. It's the Yarnivorous Ravelry group. And remember, we have prizes. They're pretty prizes too. Now, what saw a lot of work in my Seesaw Sharon bag, my batty bag, because you can never have too many bats in your life. You really can't. Like, I mean, someone could tell you you could, but you can't. There's no such thing as too many bats. I have 2 bat tattoos. That is not enough. Get your lip ring caught in your drink. That's always fun. Because we went to Seattle, because we like drove to Bainbridge Island, like we went around. We went around town. So I had a lot of car knitting time, and car knitting time, when you're talking to other people, or even when we were like sitting around talking at night after we got back to their hotel, it's just knitting time. So I have finished my first Desert Vista Dye Works in the Dia de los Muertos colorway. I have not done the heel. You can see there in the pink there's that bright orange strip. That is where my afterthought heel will go. It's not a true afterthought because I put the waste yarn in. I'm not about to do the snipping, okay? I am not as grandiose. I'm not capable of that mentally yet. Way to go for the people who can. Like, Leslie did it while recording. Oh my god, I couldn't do that. But, having said that, waste yarn, I'm good with waste yarn. And I like it that way because that gives me more control, and I'm a control freak when it comes to my knitting. So the first one is done. I did do a longer, I discussed this before, but I did a longer cuff than I normally do. This is an 8-inch cuff, leg, whatever you want to call it, because I love the yarn too much, and I was like, you know what, I'll have a lot left over otherwise. What I really should have done is done a toe up and divided it into 2, and then done it as high as possible. But then I have to do calf increases because I have massive calves, and I have to figure stuff out. And I had already started top down. I was probably already like into here when I decided that I was going to make it longer. So there you have it. I can always do some Turkish bed socks after the fact. I love them. I really love them. So I finished the first one. I started the second one. I wish I'd gotten further on the second one, but you know, life happens. So I did finish the ribbing, and I got the first pink row done. So comparatively, first pink row done. And of course, I'm not sure if I've ever told you what my trick is for making sure that my socks are the same. But when I cast on, you'll see this here. Any stripy sock I own that I'm matching, you'll notice this. I cast on, and I do a long tail cast on, and my starting point is where the colors meet. So on this one, I did where the red and black met, and I did my long tail cast on so that the red was on the outside, the black was on the inside, because it was at the end of the red round. So when I came to this one, I did the exact same thing. So I get the one row of one color, and then it goes into the next color, because then they're going to be exactly the same. And Bebop is wandering around. It's almost time for his morning pill. His morning pills. It's like his mommy, he's got morning pills. He is doing considerably better. He did have a moment last night where he had an accident. He did he didn't make it outside to go to the washroom. However, he was standing next to the door to outside in our kitchen, so he really did try. So I felt bad for him, but you know, that's going to happen. He's on diuretics. He's got a heart condition. He's got Alzheimer's. Let's just be glad he did it on the linoleum where I could clean it up quickly. Not until Petrie stepped in it, of course, because she needed to step in it 3 times before, but whatever. So that is how I start my stripies, so that I have the exact same start. And then if it's a 3-stripe yarn, I will do all 3 colors in ribbing before I start the main. If it's more than 3, I'll usually do the top 3. If it's 4, I'll do the top 4. But I find for myself personally, usually the top 3 colors is enough. This one, it's several of the top colors because the blacks count. So it's blue, black, white, black, and then orange. So that's what, 5? Yeah, it's 5. I do 5 repeats in this one, but I mean, that's usually how I figure it out for my ribbing. And then they match, and then I put the waste yarn in at the same spot, and then I start my decreases at the same spot, because that is who I am as a human being. I don't care. I don't care. Usually I end up with like little balls left over, like this is from the last one I did. And then I just throw them into other bags, and I use them as the waste yarn, because that's what you do. So, Dia de los Muertos socks. And the last thing I worked on in terms of knitting in my Renee bag, bring it up on the iPad for you. I brought my iPad so I can show you stuff this time. Boop, 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 boop. My Nora Gowan. In my Renee bag, I'm doing my Nora Gowan. And it is the Nomad. It was part of a Brooklyn Tweed, I believe. Is it Brooklyn Tweed, or is it? Yeah, it is Brooklyn Tweed. Not Westy Bestie, but. So it's this. Boop. It's a poncho. It's a cute little poncho. And I like cute ponchos. I really want a poncho. And I had whined about it on my last podcast, that I was like, why haven't I not worked on my poncho? Because it's getting cold and I want a poncho. And so I was motivated to get back to the poncho. It's on 4.5 millimeter needles, which is what, a US 7. Oh, and my Dia de los Muertos is on a US 1, 2.25 millimeter needle, which is always what I do, 64 stitches. So here's some progress for you. Last time you saw it, I had just finished chart A, which was the X's, and now I'm on to the big motif. Right in the middle of the motif. Way to go. Way to go, Sadie. There we kind of go. I've just started, so it's kind of hard to tell, but we're into the motifs. There you go. So you've got the little guy and the bigger one. This is about halfway through the pattern, through the chart. So you do the chart, and then you set this aside, and then you knit the other part, and then you join them. So you do 2 of the exact same thing, and then you join them in the middle, and that gives you the aesthetic. The one thing I'm having problems with is, although I have the right stitch count, I have a stitch left over. I'm not sure if it's in the beginning, I'm not sure if it's in the end, I'm not really sure where this extra stitch came from or why it exists, but I have an extra stitch. So I will have to be cognizant of that when joining them, otherwise they're going to be off by 1, and that's going to bug the bejesus out of me. So, I don't know, maybe I should check for errata. That would have been smart, right? So, there you go. I have the first, and this is the upper back here. It actually goes this way. Let me hold it up right. So this is the upper back. It's got this little joiny thing here where it has a little dip, and that's for the back neck. So it will go from this to this. The color is not even remotely appropriate on my screen right now. It's just not. But the sun is shining through, that's why all of a sudden I'm really blown out. It's fun, it's good, it's going to be big, it's going to be warm. I'll probably look like a giant box, but I am fine with that. It is there. It's kind of an orange or a reddy brown, like almost like a brick. It's called Oxblood. It's Elizabeth Lavold, favorite wool, 100% Peruvian wool, color Oxblood. Yeah, it's gonna get blown out no matter what I do because of the sun. There you go. Either way, I have a bunch of this, so I'm good to go. I actually double checked, and I probably have a little extra. I'm about to start my 4th ball, I want to say. The balls aren't very big. You get 50 grams or 109 yards per ball, so I'm not even using that as an indicator because I will probably burn through, I think it's like 14 balls, 15 balls before I'm done this whole thing, but it is going along nicely. The downside I am finding to the pattern personally is the length of the repeat. It's a 52 stitch repeat, and that is really long for me, so I'm not a big fan of that. I understand why it has to happen. I understand how it works. It's not my cup of tea. It's too long. I like short repeats. I like repeats where I'm gonna merp, as opposed to really long repeats. That kind of gets to me. Just saying. And while I have my iPad out, I promised you I would show you the stripy sock yarn spider I was gifted last week. It is by Karen Bonfiglio. It's called the Stripy Sock Yarn Spider. And it's adorable. And now I can show it to you. Aren't they cute? You see why I want to make these? They're cute. They're the kind of spiders you want in your house. I might have to make a couple. It's a beginner skill level. Looks super easy. I'm pretty sure you can magic loop it. I have a lot of stripy sock yarn scraps. I could easily get away with making like a militia of spiders. They're very cute. So thank you again, Karen. And let's go to miscellaneous for a minute here before I get to the pointy stuff. Oh yes, this is the appropriate time in the recording where I tell my in-laws and my mother and everybody to bugger off. Bye now. This is not where you continue watching. This is where you turn it off. Even though I'm going to show some haul. They've seen it, so it's all good. Right. I assume they're gone, and if they're not gone, they get to see some stash enhancements. But before they go, I am in the Lippy U Giftables Club, so I got my October shipment. It's very pretty. It's light blue. It's blowing out to a white, but it's a light blue with dark blue flecks in it. It is Meadowcraft Dye Works in the Cross Creek sock. Rehabilitation for the yarn bereft. I like that. I like that look there. And the pattern that came with it is the Tesser pattern by Laura Linneman. Lala. It's her 51st pattern. Way to go, Laura. That sounded a lot cheekier than it should have been. I am actually very excited for her. And I like the pattern, so I'll probably knit it up once I'm done the Christmas Crazies. But it is very pretty yarn. It is 75/25 merino nylon. I figured it has that feel vibe to it. It doesn't have a... It doesn't say the yarn color. Unless it's Cross Creek sock. But either way. So that came. Now, again, in-laws were in town, which meant we went yarn hopping a little bit. We went to Church Mouse, and I had my express desire to pick up some yellow. Oh, wait, it's reading true on the screen right now, which is awesome. So this is like a more golden yellow, but it's what I decided would work for the last vintage prim for my niece. This is Koigu KPPM $12.30. And I am glad I could buy a little skein, like a Koigu skein, which is what? They're not as... 175 yards, 50 grams. So they're not as many grams as like you need to make a pair of socks. But I only need to make a hat. So I'll still have a little left over, but that'll work. That will work. I just have to figure out what I'm pairing with it. So there you have it. And for Stacy, because Stacy is impossible. Well, she's not impossible. It's just in my stash, when I go stash diving, I don't have a lot of neutrals. I don't knit neutrals. I don't knit for neutral. I knit for... because I wear black. All I wear is black. Most of my clothes are black and blue jeans. So it's... most of my clothing is not in need of neutral. I don't want to throw a black shawl on top of a black hoodie with a black shirt. That just doesn't... it doesn't jive for me. When I knit things that are more colorful to offset the fact that I wear no color otherwise. There are some colors, like, I mean, occasionally I wear gray or blue, or like I am getting more into a color palette, but either way, my shawls, my toques, my everything else, it's not meant to be neutral. So I don't have a lot of neutrals in my stash. It's not something I stock up on. This is Plucky Knitter Oxford 75-25 Merino Cashmere in the 24 Blackbirds colorway. That's pretty true. It's a gray black. It's like a gray black. That is what it is. It's gray black. Like, you know when you've washed your black shirt too many times and you get this weird gray black? That's what this is. And it's not that it's a weird... okay, I just called it a weird gray black. But it's not a weird gray black. You know, it's just worn out black, which is neutral. And so it'll go with everything. So it's this... I like it, 24 Blackbirds. So that is what her Star Chaser, whatever, Star Showers. It's a cowl. Well, it's like a cowl poncho thing for skinny people. For me, it would just be a cowl, but for her, she can pull it down and it'll be over her shoulders, and that's what she wants. She looked at the pattern, and that's the one she wanted. So this is Plucky Knitter for Church Mouse Yarn and Tea. Not going to show up. It's Plucky. This is my second Plucky. I'm still not 100% sold on Plucky. Like, I get that it's a big thing, but I remember the last time I knit with it, when I was doing a tech knit for someone, and it really didn't make me go, yeah, I want to buy Plucky all the time. Maybe this will, I don't know. I know in my knit group back in Minnesota, it was a big thing. Tanis and Plucky were the big ones, and maybe this Plucky will change my mind. I don't know. I am not, it doesn't enamor me as much as it could. So maybe I will get more enamored while I make this. I don't know. Feels kind of rough for something with a cashmere, which is also odd to me. Everything's odd to me these days. The sun is going behind a cloud, and now I have better coloration, I guess. So now I can grab everything else. We're gonna segue right into pointy things. I will show you my progress here while it gets blown out. There we go. So as I showed you last week, this is a Vespa with some cool funky mirror thingies, and I haven't done any back stitching, so leave me alone. It's for a Christmas gift for my in-laws. All I have left to do here currently, I'll leave it up here, is filling in this hole. I got some done, but I need to fill in the rest of this hole. Wow, I'm so backwards. This wheel well that's in relief, and that bit of the wheel that is still white, that has to be done. All the stuff down here is in one color, so that'll be nice. And then the back stitching and mounting, blah, blah, blah. But I did get the fiddly little flaggies done. Did not like doing the fiddly little flaggies, but I did them. And these floating things kind of bugged me, because when I have to count out that far, it really... I start second-guessing myself. I don't grid. I don't do that stuff. I'm sure I could. I've never tried it. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know. But so that one got filled in. That one got filled in. So it's moving along pretty good. I think by next week I should be able to show you a finished product. And that will be a gift that will be completely done, which is nice. That was my plan for them. We're going to get them a gift certificate for something else as well, but it's always nice to have something handmade, right? Like, that came out of nowhere. Oh yeah, tomorrow it's Coheed and Cambria. I'm going back to Seattle tomorrow for Coheed and Cambria. But tonight is Bebop's appointment. Doctor's appointment. And then, to segue into pointy things, I had a nefarious plan, which was I will do Christmas ornaments for everybody. I have Christmas ornament magazines in spades. So it's not exactly like I don't have the wherewithal. And this one, actually, yeah, I get a lot of British cross-stitching magazines because I like them the best. I'm sorry, America and Canada, but the British do it better. This one came with a kit that you can make 9 cross-stitchy things. And that's probably what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do the 9, and then I'm just going to pick stuff I like. Is it this one or this one? One of them has the other big thing I'm planning for everybody. It's not in that one. I think it's in this one. One of them has a frosted pumpkin stitchery ornament, which is really cute. I may just do that for myself. It's really hard not to show patterns on this stuff. Let's see. That's not going to show up very well, but this one has cute little bears. Cute little bears with letters. So I'm going to do that for some in-law I think a brother-in-law and his significant other. There's ones with birds. I think I'll do that for the other bro-in-law and significant other. There's just some really cute stuff. I'll probably make everyone an ornament because then they're quick, they're little, right? They're little and they're quick. So if I bang out a bunch of them, you can mount them in a million different ways, which is great because you can use the fabric, you can use felt, you can make stuffy things. And then I'll have some presents because this year it's apparently taking the break from, and I didn't really take a break because I made 3 quilts last year, but apparently taking a break from crafting for everybody, I now feel the need to craft for everybody. That's how it goes. And apparently I'm doing cross stitch this year, which is probably a lot smarter than trying to make everybody a sweater or socks, which I have done previously and have failed miserably at. Actually, no. I did get the sweaters done, although you should not be finishing sweaters at 4 in the morning, Christmas morning, and then giving it to them and taking them back to block. Well, you can, but I mean, I couldn't function during Christmas supper and I fell asleep. I also couldn't feel my hands for most of the time. So, there you have it. Not going to attempt sweaters for everyone. I'm not going to attempt socks for everyone, because I would, like, I mean, I'm on pair, what, 12? 12 and 13 for 2015? Oh, great, hiccups. And so I would have to start at the beginning of the year, and I still wouldn't be done in time. Not going to happen. Not happening. So I'm going to do mother and father-in-law. We have 1 brother family, so that's 5. Other brother family, 7. Other brother, 8. My mom, 9. My aunt and uncle, 10, 11. Brothers family, 12, 13, 14, 15. Other brother, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'm going to be doing like 19 to 20 Christmas ornaments in the next 2 months. The baby blanket did not get worked on. It will, though, because I'm going home on December 1st, and I have I have to finish a quilt, and I have to finish the baby blanket. Aside from that, I can take whatever else I want. But those two things have to be done in advance. So I will probably be quilting like crazy in the next week. But the baby blanket may see its finish before, maybe it'll be finished before November. If it's not, whatever, I've got till December. That is everything I've been up to this week, which I thought wasn't a lot, but is apparently 35 minutes worth of yammer-yammering about. So I should remind you to join the Ravelry group. It's Yarnivorous. It's out there. And to get your brioche going. I'm still going to try and do the videos, but don't hold me to it because, like, seriously, it has been so hard to peg down a time to do it because of daylight and because of, like, we don't have a lamp in here. I'm not sure if you can tell that we don't have a lamp in here, but it doesn't actually have any light in here. So when there's no light in here, there's a light in the closet that I pull. Like, it's a pull light, and I turn that one on, and I can see everything in the room, but it's not really cognizant for videoing. And this room is kind of a explosion right now, so we'll see. We'll see where I get to. But either way, I will be back next week. Hope you had fun. Happy knitting, happy spinning.